Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you round 5 of the Racetech V8 ESC Endurance Championship from the awesome Road Atlanta circuit. In the booth with me tonight, I have the usual suspects, Mr. Pete Bingham, good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
And Mr. Bill Switzer, good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
And making all the mistakes in the background is Mr. Sam Boozing. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
So, Pete, we have a 2-hour endurance race tonight. We have a small field at the moment of 11 drivers. Road Atlanta is a fantastic track sometimes. It's horrible at other times, depending on how you're getting on. We've still got the fast guys in. What are you expecting from this race?
Quite a lot of tactics, I would think, across the course of the 2 hours that we're going to be viewing this. Road Atlanta is one of my favourite tracks. It's one of the very first ones that I ever learnt, and that was just on some probably very crappy racing game. Nothing as advanced as this simulator. It's going to be a really exciting race. There's plenty of places for overtaking on this track. Very dynamic landscape, should be very entertaining fun.
Bill, we've got some inside information again. We're looking at around 23 laps on a full tank, or a full restricted tank in this series. Race, depending on the pace, is looking about somewhere between 89 and 90 laps. Are we going to see lots of different tactics from the guys tonight, Bill?
Yeah, well, we know one guy that'll be to form in his usual suspect style is Marco Novella. He may try his famous undercut. We'll have to see how that goes. We'll have to see if anybody that raced with him last night that's beginning to see that it works for him might try it as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a mixed bag, no doubt. Hopefully everybody takes their time and sets a pace, and we can keep all drivers in there for the 2 hours.
Yeah, so, there's 3 pit stops to play with tonight, Pete. So it could be one of those races again where we don't really know how it's all going to shake out until all the pit stops are over.
Yeah, last time was quite interesting, to be honest. I think we'll probably end up with the 2 that are on the screen at the minute, Wayne and Jamie, occupying the same bit of tarmac most of the race like they did in the previous races. That Bill likes to commentate on these guys because they are very dynamic and very exciting. But yeah, we're going to have to see what happens when they take the first pit stop. Will dictate likely when they're going to take the second, and then their full race tactic might show itself at that point. Marco seems to be the king of box it early and get a massive jump on everybody else, so let's see if that happens as well, and let's see if he can make that happen over 3 different stops.
Yeah, I think that's the key to it. We've seen before where people pit early, take less fuel, and come out and get a massive jump on everybody else, but then they seem to fall back to where they was at the next pit stop when they have to take a full tank. I would assume with this track, it's got some twisty sections. It's fairly abrasive on the tyres, so I would guess they would take tyres every time, Bill?
Well, it only makes sense, yeah, especially if you're in there, more than 18 or 20 seconds, they put the tires on anyway. It just makes sense.
Yeah, so anybody new to this car, obviously the fuel and the tyres happen at the same time. So the sort of general rule of thumb is if you're taking more than 8 gallons of fuel, you might as well take tyres as well, because it's still done within the same time. So we're into qualifying, guys. We're not quite halfway through. Marco Namella's up there on provisional pole with Tony Kloosterman. Richard Alsop has just got there in second, and Tony Kloosterman third. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a battle between them 3 for pole position, Pete.
Yeah, 2 teammates on the front row at the moment. Richard's putting a blistering time there, but not quite as good as Marco's, which is just otherworldly. Tony's got a bit to do. I'm sure he can improve on his time. He hasn't done on that last lap round. I think they'll be the standout 3 because I think Wayne's going to be locking horns with Jamie most of the race, and then everybody else will be aspiring to get up to where Tony Klusterman is, I think.
Yeah, but with these 2-hour endurance races as well, it's not always, having a fast lap time is not always that important as long as you can keep the car on the track. The guys do get one fast repair, but once it's gone, and after that you're looking at multiple minutes to get damage fixed on your car. So, Bill, just a quick one on Road Atlanta. Do you have much experience around here? Is this a track that you enjoy?
I do. Road Atlanta is really an excellent track. Again, a fairly fast track. It can bite you, but I don't know. I just think it's really neat. It's got a lot of elevation change. It's got unique corners, different kinds of corners. Nothing too slow, but it really is an excellent track for. I think it's an excellent track for an enduro too. It's a track. I think Pete mentioned it, that you can kind of set a pace on and just keep running that pace and do fairly well, even as somebody else mentioned, you don't have the fastest lap time. I think it's a great track. I've been here personally myself several times, seen several types of cars on here. And as a matter of fact, the Scops guys, who are the gurus of the V8 Supercars, say that this is absolutely one of the best tracks that they race on. So, which is kind of surprising, but it's out of the horse's mouth.
Yeah, I think from my personal experience, I love the track right up until the last chicane, and then you're sort of turning right over a blind crest, and just trusting the car that it's going to turn. I think when I make mistakes, that's usually where it is. What about you, Pete? I know you like Road Atlanta. It is, as Bill said, it is one of them tracks that's got everything.
It has, yeah. It's got 2 blind turns. The first one's at turn 2-3, that little chicane at the top of the hill. The second one's the one that you've described. It is a bit of find yourself a deity and make the sign that's relevant to that, and hope that the tyres grip. And I'm sure that the guys on track are far more skilled than I am in that regard, and don't rely on wishful thinking and pure hope to get them around the track. It has everything. It's got fast straights, it's got tight turns, it's got sequence turns, and if you get one part of the sequence wrong, a bit like we've just witnessed there from Nikolai Bogotyrev, he was wide on that corner and needed someone to show him a photograph of the apex because he was quite away from it. You get punished really badly for time by not hitting your marks. He's about to approach the chicane that you were talking about, and you can get greedy with this corner. You can take a lot of curb, which he may. Yep, that's plenty of it. That's a really good corner there from Nikolai. Hopefully he'll improve on his 120.605. And then this bit is the bit that gets people when they're not fully paying attention. You've got to have your eyes on stalks going down that hill. It's very, very fast. You can wash out wide, it can snap back on you, and you hit the wall on the inside. It's a very unforgiving turn, that one. Fantastic lap, though. It literally has everything.
Yeah, that last turn, to me, has always been one of those that it is horrendously fast. It's downhill, you're accelerating, but it seems to tighten all of a sudden, and you find yourself washing out onto that grass over the rumble strips, going onto the start-finish straight. So, like you say, it's not just a case of putting your foot to the floor and turning the wheel and away you go.
No, you kind of do have to keep your foot in, because if you don't, the guy behind you mugs you straight away. That overspeed down that straight is everything. And you do kind of have to close your eyes, pray, and just keep your foot there sometimes, especially if you're in close competition. It's an adrenaline rush, this track. Everywhere you go, it's great.
Yeah, and again, just on that, sorry, Bill, just on that same corner, it can go either way, can't it? You either, as we just see it on board, you can wash out over there to the left, or if you put too much steering in, it's quite easy to oversteer and find yourself buried in that pit wall.
Yeah, and like Tony did there, he was out on the grass, out of the last turn, so he'll have picked up a 1x for that, and it'll have written off his lap. It's dead easy, and if you clip the curb on the inside, which you kind of have to do, sometimes it punts your V8 away from the apex of the turn. Is that what you find, Bill?
Absolutely. I was just going to say they should call that corner the sphincter tightening turn, because boy, I'll tell you, it really gets your attention. And you're absolutely right, Pete. That curb, you just got to kind of hit it, as you said, just right. If you go too far, it's gonna bump you right into the outside, or even spin you to the inside. It's a tough corner. It's a fast corner too.
Okay, so we're in the final throes of qualifying now. Time is up. We're just allowing the drivers that had already passed the start-finish straight to finish their laps. Quick shout out to our teammate who's not driving tonight, Mr. Mike Frost. He's at home. He is recovering from surgery. I believe Mike and his wife had a good giggle at a photo that I sent to him. I won't share the details, but it was all about a steering assister and the different things that you can use. So, yes, guys, so qualifying's over. Marco Namella on top. Will that change his tactics?
No. No, he's gonna go for an open track in front of him, nail it, and then I still think he'll pit early. I don't think he's got any other DNA in him. He does that too well.
I mean, let's face it. He's the type of guy right now. He's going so well. Don't fix what ain't broke. You know, he's not. Why would he change anything?
Damn right.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. It's up to Marco to prove us wrong. The top four are very, very close in times. And then, so they're all in the 119s, and then we've got some in the 120s, and then some a bit slower. But as we've said, you know, sometimes it's more important to keep the car on the track than it is to put in blistering times all the time. So, guys, if you want to run us through our smaller than usual grid, and we'll prepare for the start.
Sure thing. So on pole is Marco Namela. As we've just discussed, his teammate Richard Allsoppin's in second, Tony Klusterman is in third, Wayne Sanderson fourth, Jamie Wilson fifth, Ant Woodward in sixth, Nikolai Bogotyrev in seventh, Jamie Jeffrey in eighth, Andrew Hoffman in ninth, Ryan Walker rounds out the top 10, and 11th is Ben Cullen.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the cars to form up on the grid before we will see the lights. Interestingly enough as well, I've just had cake delivered.
Thank you very much for sharing. Really.
Where's mine?
Yeah.
Interestingly, Bill, Wayne and Jamie, fourth and fifth.
There we go. Yeah.
There's no separating these two, is there?
Let's hope they carry on. That was really excellent last time.
It really was. It was fascinating stuff.
Yeah, well, if qualifying pace is anything to go with, Wayne should leave Jamie behind, but we know that's not going to happen.
All right. Revs are up.
Okay, green, away we go. Nice clean start for everybody, as you would expect with a smaller grid.
Tony's pushing hard on the there to get by Richard.
That's a good move. Is he going to have the grip going up the hill? He didn't last night.
Yeah,
might be okay.
Yeah, he's got it done from there.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. Sorry. Oh, he's a bit fishtaily. He's not got much grip. This is what did him last night when we were at Watkins. And Marco's checked out. He's got 10 car lengths minimum.
Yeah, I think the problem there is obviously Tony was offline.
And Tony's out wide. Rich is going to have to take that.
Get it back.
Yeah, Rich has got
or is he?
Well, it's a drag race.
And Tony had a really good drive, kind of off the grass, funnily enough.
Yeah, he's kept that position.
Yeah, good camera angle, Sam. brings Wayne into the picture, and Wayne's got some overspeed. I'm sure his shadow will be close behind. And Tony has managed. Ooh, or has he? This is going to go on for a while, I think.
Yeah, this is a horrible corner when you're on your own.
Whoa.
Richard did
yeah.
the right thing there.
He did. He did. Hats off to Richard. That was mature
really
racing.
Yeah, so just going back to Marco's gap, I think what happened was going into that first chicane, Tony's obviously off lines, had to slow down more than normal, which obviously slows everybody else down behind, and away Marco went. But it'd be interesting to see if once Tony and Richard have sorted themselves out, if either of them can sort of match Marco for pace and close them down.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Andrew Hoffman chasing down Jamie Jeffrey at the moment. He's in his slipstream. He'll need to step out good and quick if he's going to do anything there, which he can't.
I'm expecting a good drive from Jamie Jeffrey tonight, because he did send me a message in the week telling me what a good track Road Atlanta was. So he's obviously enjoying it round here.
Well, I'll tell you, Wayne Sanderson's, I think, worrying Richard Alsop a little bit, looking in his mirror there. Coming right up behind him into 10A.
Yeah, so Tony seems to have checked from Richard, doesn't he? Richard's got his white window back.
Well, and then Ant Woodward chasing down Nikolai Bogatyrov.
Yep.
That one's going to go on for a while as well. These two have raced together for a long time before, when Nikolai was driving the same car but with green, not red.
Yeah, we've lost Ben Cullen already.
Yeah.
He was having issues with his internet, I believe. Too bad.
Yeah, that's a shame. So,
yeah, it's one thing to crash your car, but when the internet messes you up, that's not right.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
You could just leave the camera on these two for the whole 2 hours, I think, Sam.
Yeah. They're going to be
that is
nailed
not
together.
going to go away.
No.
All right, Richard Alsop's put a little bit of distance on Wayne Sanderson now.
He
Looks like
has.
he's trying to. Looks like he's trying to reel back in Tony Kloosterman.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm sorry to steal that from your melodic tone.
Melodic tones, nobody's ever accused me of that. And here we go. And Woodward, he's not got the racing line, as in the optimal line.
No, but you can cut. Yeah, he's tried it. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do it here. Is he? Oh, no, he's not.
It's getting the drive, that's the trouble.
Yeah.
If you get the drive and get alongside.
Oh, hello.
Oh, down the front straightaway.
He's done well there.
He really has.
He might have him here.
Bit of door banging. Somebody needs to tell Ant Woodward this is an endurance race.
Yeah, coming out of that final chicane, if you do get that crossover right, and you can get alongside the other car, you're basically saying, look, I've got this corner now, you better slow down. But if you're not alongside, it's up to you to slow down every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Richard's giving it some beans behind Tony, and then we've got another, well, the pair behind that, which is Jamie and Wayne. Have they swapped places?
They've swapped places, haven't they?
Yeah,
Wayne
definitely.
Jamie. What happened, Sam?
Oh, no, that's with Jamie still in front.
Yeah, Wayne must have slipped up someplace or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I've got nothing to say that he's been off track or anything like that, so
No.
possibly just got a
Bad corner.
shed load of wheel spin or something coming out of the corner.
Could be.
He's already tracked him down. I think Richard Alsop's really on the back of Tony now.
He certainly is.
Oh, he's showing his nose.
Giving him a peek, yep.
I mean, look at how close they are to one another.
He's going to get him, too.
More defensive.
Get him.
I think
Yeah.
Tony may have just
what a
let
move.
him go there.
Tony was carrying too much speed into turn one, I think.
Yeah.
He got way out on the outside there, yeah.
Look at the way they throw the car around that corner. That's
Yeah.
impressive. That.
Yeah,
But
you and I.
Tony's very clever. If he thinks that Richard is quicker than him, he will let him go rather than just driving defensively and let Marco disappear into the distance.
That's very true.
He'll let him go and then try and sit behind him and hope that the pair of them work together to get back to Marco.
Yeah, that'd be a good strategy. Try to reel them back in together.
So Wayne is looking to take his place back against Jamie.
I think we need to call these guys like Wayne Wilson and Jamie Sanderson.
No kidding. Look at that. Wow, through 10A and B together. That's interesting.
Plenty of respect there, though.
Yeah, definitely. I always wonder why it's 10A and 10B and why they didn't just count upwards.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And also the numbering.
Pete.
The numbering of the corners here too. You get over to turn 3 and you go through the S's. Then the turn out of the S's, the one that sharp left-hander going up to that little short straight is 5. So kind of weird. Kind of weird. Yeah.
And
I would like to do that one day. Design a racetrack. So you start with turn 1, then it goes to 7, then back to 3, then to 12,
then to
just
A.
to throw commentators.
Yeah. I mean, that corner there that Andrew Hoffman's just been through, that's the one where you see a lot of people lose it and they strike the inside wall. It's always the inside wall. You very rarely get them hitting the outside wall.
Yeah, it is strange.
So up front, Marco Nambella he was almost 3 seconds in front, but that has come down by a couple of tenths. So maybe Richard and Tony are working together, or maybe Marco's just having a stroll.
Yeah, he's very smooth, isn't he? I was on board with him in another race and thinking, do you know what? I wish I could drive half as smooth as this.
Yeah, it's really, after wheeling one of these puppy dogs, you go inside with some of these guys and it really burns your butt because, I mean, they don't even look like they're working, No.
They turn the wheel about half as much as I do.
Oh, just so smooth. It looks like they're, like what I think it was Clyde, a country ride, It looks like that's all they were doing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Richard has pulled away from Tony slightly. He's still under a second, but there is fresh air there now.
Richard's holding the fastest lap of the race at the minute on a 1:19.295. So that suggests to me that he's the one to watch.
Yeah, he might be the sleeper.
Yeah.
So just see in the background that Jamie Wilson's still in front of Wayne Sanderson.
Yes, he is. They're exiting 10B now, coming up over the hill, under the bridge.
There's battles everywhere. The Woodward Bogatyrev battle is still raging. Jeffrey and Hoffman is still raging.
Yeah. Hoffman's about as close as he's been, I think.
That is Ryan Walker in the background there.
Yeah.
He's not that far off him. So if these two start fighting, that's going to turn into a 3-car battle.
Very, very true.
Yeah,
Oops, go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
Andrew's got a better line through the S's than Jamie. Much more straight line, and he's wriggling all over the back of him now.
He's trying to do an outside in there. Nope, ain't gonna happen there.
Not
Maybe.
on that one. Maybe this one though, or not.
That's
Jamie
a corner.
Yeah, sorry, go on. I was just going to say Jamie got the better drive.
That corner they just went through. That's turn. Let's see, 7, I believe. Yeah, 7. You got to get a really great exit out of there if you want any speed down this straightaway.
Yeah, that was turn 15E, Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So this is where Andrew Hoffman needs to show some patience.
It looks like Ryan Walker's closing in on him, too.
Yeah,
right
he
now.
certainly has.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, Ryan's no mug. You know,
No.
he's very quick in some cars. He chose to start at the back tonight.
All right.
So, you know, he may have the better of both of these guys.
And I notice he's in the Racetech pseudo colors.
Hell yeah.
He didn't get the best drive out of there. And Andrew's going to keep that gap at the minute.
Looks like Jamie's saying, while they're battling, I'm going to try to pull away from him here. Whoa, Jamie, a little squirrely there that time. Jamie Jeffrey.
Yep. Although Andrew and Ryan will now get a double toe out of this one. Well,
Yeah.
Ryan will.
I think the trouble is Ryan dipped a couple of wheels on the grass there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He lost a little time.
A little bit of tyre smoke coming off Jamie Jeffries. Go, oh, Andrew, what you doing?
Yeah, just a little bit early on the gas there.
Yeah,
Still got it covered.
lack of adhesion there.
But, you know, as we always say, these two start to battle, then Jamie Jeffrey will get away from him.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Everybody's separated out. Ryan Walker's the closest to any car in front. Although Jamie Jeffrey is closing on Nikolai Bogatyrov quite quickly now.
Yeah, and Nikolai's not that far behind Ad Woodward.
And our Jamie Wilson, Wayne Sanderson split up a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, they'll come back together.
Oh, yeah. And Jamie Wilson is running in fourth. Wayne Sanderson's in fifth at this moment.
So Andrew needs to concentrate on his lines and trying to close that gap back to Jamie Jeffrey. And just trust that Ryan's not going to do anything out of the ordinary.
Lock up from Andrew Hoffman. He needs to sort that corner out. That's where he had trouble last time out as well. Last time round, rather.
I think that goes back to what we said, or what you said right at the start, Pete. You can get greedy with that corner.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
you know, you can cut quite a bit of that curbing off, but it encourages you to brake late.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I'm not saying it's stylish. I'm just saying that you can be as greedy as you like, really. You don't get an incident or a slowdown from it until you're really, like, all four wheels off. And whether he knows that and he's just trying to get his rhythm on that corner, I'm not sure yet, but Ryan's definitely looking a bit fighty behind him.
Yeah, I suppose from Ryan's point of view, it depends on whether he thinks he's losing time. Again, you know, as we've already spoken about, personally, if I was in Ryan's shoes, I would sit behind Andrew. I might even be telling him over the comms that I'm going to sit behind you, just go and chase Jamie down. Rather than, you know, getting both cars offline and just watching Jamie disappear into the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Personally, I think Ryan's wanting that position.
And also, if Ryan thinks that Andrew is closing in on Jamie and he's just sitting behind, you know, there's a chance that he can save half a gallon of fuel or something.
And if anybody's wondering, Marco Nurmela is soldiering off into the distance at this point. Still in first place.
Yeah, the front three have separated a little bit now, so there's not a lot going on there.
Yeah, Andrew Hoffman's excellent through these S's. He's got a really good line through there. He's actually got a decent... Ooh, there you go, commentator's curse.
Did he take too much curb there?
He did. He is good through the S's. He got bounced up and down. If we can have a replay of that from on board, you'll see him.
It's that curb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, that shot him to the inside there.
there.
Yeah, and not all four wheels on the tarmac at once, and that's what you get. And that's what I was saying. There's a lot of people hit that inside wall. I've been there many times.
And there's a souvenir bonnet out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Andrew will be really pleased that we've watched this 6 times now. Although I don't think that'll have done much damage to his car. I think he can just carry on with that.
Yeah,
it's just a bump.
Looks like he's missed the bonnet. That's all.
Yeah.
Unless the front is stoved in a little bit, is it?
Yeah, possibly.
Looks a little flat to me, but maybe not.
Really needs to probably at least another 10 laps if he's got the speed in the car before he comes in to get that repaired.
Yeah, he'll be making a pit stop around then anyway, won't he? Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He can stretch it out till then. The front of the car is definitely flat.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Hopefully, he's just getting more downforce off that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on his lap times and see if he's losing out. So, back to Marco Namela, who's got just under 3-second lead over his teammate Richard Alsop. Tony Kloosterman is a further just under 3 seconds behind that, although that...
No, I wouldn't believe what it's saying right now.
No, I think that's more like 5 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Andrew Hoffman out of the way, Ryan Walker is now hot on the heels of Jamie Jeffrey.
Maybe that's his tactic, just get behind someone, intimidate them into making a mistake and just keep taking position.
Get him off track.
Yeah.
And Ant Woodward's pulled out quite away from Nikolai Bogatrov too, as well. Wow.
Yeah, Ant's, we've raced with Ant Woodward for many years, and there's 2 Ant Woodwards. There's a really good one and a really crap one, and it depends on which Ant Woodward turns up usually.
Yeah, sometimes he's absolutely masterful on track, and then other times you think, well, what happened to last week's Ant Woodward?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Been a number of occasions where, looks like Jamie's got a bit of a connection issue there as well. So he's pressing the
reset button.
Seems to sort itself out. He must have some sort of cloaking device, I think.
Yeah, I was using that recently.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying about Ant Woodward. I was always in and around the same position on track with Ant, and then all of a sudden he just took to another level and he was gone. And like I say, I now find that either I can't race him because he's too quick, or I'm going past him because he's buried in the wall, or it's one way or the other with Ant. He never just has one of them okay races.
No, he's got all the skills, hasn't he? And he's proven time and time again that he can complete races and get really good finishing positions. I think it's just like you say, it's the sustainable, regular, high performance that he's just lacking at the minute.
Yeah, he doesn't have consistency. I do. I'm consistently lousy, but he, like you said, he's up and down the scale for sure.
Yeah. See, the drag in this car mustn't be effective on this track as it is on others, because you'd expect Ryan to be right on his. There's a bit of defensive driving there from Jamie Jeffrey.
He made his car a little wide there for a minute, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I was going to use Bathurst as an example of how the draft works in this car, but obviously you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, Pete, because you've never got as far as the Conrod Straight. But what seems to happen in this car, for me anyway, is you think, oh, there's no draft, oh shit, there's a draft. It's like lastminute.com, you suddenly gain 15 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently you get that effect at Bathurst. But even like places like Le Mans and Spa, it is right when you're underneath the rear wing of the car in front, and you suddenly get that burst of extra speed. It's not like some of the cars where you can get like 1.2 seconds back, you start getting the draft. It just doesn't feel like that with it.
Yeah, you drive NASCAR or
Mm.
IndyCar, like you say, 1.2 seconds, and you hear the revs go up and see your speed build. But he's having another go here, Ryan.
Making a look to the inside.
Not close enough.
And Jamie's pulling across the track too. Not in a bad way, in a very, very good tactic way of making his car annoyingly wide, yeah.
So leader is on lap 17 now.
Jamie Jeffrey made a really nice turn coming down the hill there. He pulled out a little distance right there. Perfect corner that time.
I was just going to say, I'd describe that as the perfect corner.
Sliding through that corner, wow. Turn 3, a little bit sideways.
Yep. And this is what I was meaning about Andrew Hoffman's line through those S's. He's very, very straight line. There's not too much deviation, left or right, as he's going through it. Whereas you watch Jamie Jeffrey, and he's got a lot of exaggeration to the turns through there. I think if we watched Marco Namela, he would have less turn from one S to the next.
Agreed.
And here we go with Marco Namela. He's approaching that point now.
Yeah, he's not pulling out any more of a gap on his teammate. It's sitting just under that 3-second mark.
Yeah, and again, that's very straight through there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Not much change of direction. And that's what you want through there, because a change of direction loads the tyres, and then when you switch back again, you unload the cold side of the car, or the side of the car with the cold tyres, and you just spear off. I was in a race with Clyde in GT4s recently where that exact thing happened to me. We've got Jamie strobing again.
Yeah, Jamie's using his cloaking device again.
Yeah. So Ryan needs some nice, well, I was going to say sweeping turns here, but he was sharper than Jamie on that one. That was a good turn for him, though. He's going to get a reasonable amount of drive out of that corner. He needs to stay tucked in till the very last second and not tell Jamie where he's going. That was a bit pedestrian, but he's... Yeah,
it's very easy to defend, though, isn't it?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, why not? A little bit squirrely under braking there.
He touched the tyre onto the grass. Usually that's hasta la vista, but...
So pit window, in theory, opens the next lap. I would be very tempted to, if I was Ryan, do whatever Jamie doesn't do on this next lap.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, more, and just as importantly, Tony, Richard and Marco, I think, will react to whatever Marco does, especially after what happened last night in the official one.
Just seeing Wayne has closed right up on Jamie Wilson again.
Oh, he has, yeah. Less than a second now.
Wow.
He will be getting some sort of tow from that point.
But I think there was quite a big gap there. I'm sure I looked at 5 seconds.
Definitely.
So either Wayne has found another gear, or Jamie's had a mistake somewhere.
So nobody's pitted. Everybody's sailed through that one.
Yeah, so this is lap 20. So this is where, in theory, will be the earliest people can stop.
It might just be that Wayne's maybe better at worn tyres than Jamie is. Might be as simple as that.
Could be, yeah. It could be that Wayne saved a bit of tyre life, whereas Jamie shot off into the distance using all his stuff up.
Tony's etched out a 7.5 second lead over Jamie Wilson now. And that was the 5 second gap once upon a time, so maybe Jamie did have something go wrong.
But as we said, we knew they'd be back together.
Okay, here comes Marco through 10 and 10A and B. Let's see if he pits. Nope, he went by. He did not pit.
Okay, so
would you? Here we go. Here's the question: would you, as Richard or Tony, play Marco at his own game then, or are you just going to wait for him to blink?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I would.
No, if this is the earliest that you can pit, I would do it and just put doubts into Marco's mind.
Yep, I'd be doing exactly that.
If you do exactly the same as he does, you're not going to lose anything, but you're not going to gain anything.
What did you say, Clyde? Did you say that could get into Marco's head a little bit if they do that?
Possibly.
Yeah.
If Marco seems to be set up as a driver to pit early, take that undercut and run with it. He trusts himself defending his line. So I'm pretty sure he would have gone into this race before qualifying thinking, right, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And then he hasn't. And then if the car behind does, then you start doubting yourself. Should have stuck to my original plan. Why did I? Do you know what I mean? Just making him think,
Here he comes again.
Whilst you're thinking fuel numbers and stuff like that, you're missing your braking points.
He did not stop that time either. Richard Alsop went by. Tony went by also. Okay.
And Tony's losing time, so it might have been advantageous for him to pit if this is the start of the pit window.
There's Wayne Sanderson has pitted.
Right. So he's taken the Nemela line.
Yeah, although, they are towards the end of their tank of fuel anyway. We was told 23 laps flat out, 24 if you save a little bit. So
right.
It's not an early pit stop, let's say. It's earlier than everybody else, but it's not, hang on, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Welcome, Steve. Sorry, we had a comment from Wookie on the chat, and I had no idea who that was, but it's Steve Walker who races with us in the Friday night SOF race.
Okay. Okay, here comes Marco Nemela again. Nope, went by again. He did not stop.
Yeah, so he's using somebody else's tactics tonight. So if I was Richard and Tony, I would be in now.
I would as well.
Richard and Tony both went by.
Yeah, it's strange.
And Tony's losing, well, he's pulled a bit back there, but he's still losing time overall.
And Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, go on.
He did not stop either. He is really sideways coming up the hill. Wow.
Yeah, I think he's had a moment. He's now 10 seconds behind Tony Klosterman. I'm sure that was 7 a minute ago.
Yeah, I think it shot 5, 7, then 10, didn't it? So
yeah, I don't know what's happened there. What I do think is that Wayne Sanderson is going to benefit.
See, Ryan Walker's another one. He should be in the pits now.
Agreed.
He can't get round Jamie Jeffrey, so do something different.
Yep.
Okay, I think Marco's going to pit this time.
So lap 23. So
gut feeling.
In theory, if you haven't saved any fuel, you will have to pit on this lap.
Marco's on pit lane. Here he comes. Richard Alsop went by. Tony Klusman went by as well.
That was an epic, fast pit entry from Marco Nemela.
Well, I was watching a little early when he was here, and he was practicing coming down pit lane, which is, a good thing to do that a lot of us don't do. And he was practicing that, actually.
Right, okay.
Yep. Okay, at the moment, Richard Alsop is in the lead.
Why is Tony Klusterman down as 18 seconds behind him? There's got to be something wrong with the timing screens.
Yeah, I think you better wait for that to update.
Oh, here we go.
So, yeah, Jamie and Ryan both in at the same time. I think Ryan's missed a trick there.
Marco's down and away. He's coming back out. Seemed like a long pit stop for him.
Yeah, and he's come out side by side with the obviously damaged car of Andrew Hoffman. That's not going to be good for Marco, depending on his tactic.
Andrew's usually pretty good, to be fair.
Oh no, yeah, and he's quite quick through this section. He's just got to hold it together, and I'm sure he'll pull across and give Marco either the racing line or an easy pass.
Doesn't look like he is, actually.
Well, my commentator's curses.
So Richard and Tony are both in the pits.
Right. And Andrew Hoffman got a fantastic drive out of that corner. He's got no fuel in the car. That's gonna. That's not gonna play to Marco's strengths, is it? No, he's let him go now. He's let him go. Probably a wise choice from Andrew. I'd have done that as well.
They held him off pretty well, though, I have to say.
I believe Ryan Walker has jumped Jamie Jeffrey in the pits.
Ah, interesting.
Andrew Hoffman's in the pits now as well.
Yeah. He might be in there a little while getting some repairs done.
Yeah, he might use his fast repair, though, huh? That should help a little bit.
Well, we're early in the race, and he's not lost that much pace.
No, not really.
He's still doing 120s. I mean, that's as competitive as Nikolai, Ryan, etc.
Andrew, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about his fuel.
How's that?
Oh, he's pitted, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's boxed. Yeah.
Yep.
He must have saved some by burying himself in the wall.
Not only is Wayne in front of Jamie, he's way in front of Jamie. And Nikolai can't tote that statement about Ant Woodward.
No, Ant Woodward, he hasn't stopped yet, has he? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he must have.
I think he...
Yes, he has, yeah.
He has. Well, they're showing him in third place.
He's down in 7th.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's just not cycled through, yeah.
Hasn't recycled yet. Okay, got it.
When he crosses the line, it'll give him his proper number.
I don't know if Sam can have a look back and find what happened with Jamie Jeffrey and Ryan Walker on pit lane. Oh, Ryan's just smoked his tyres there. Andrew, Jamie's done. How many times do you see that? The guy in front makes a mistake and then you do exactly the same.
Yeah, following them through that same problem, aren't you? I'm more interested to find out what happened between Jamie and Jamie Wilson, and Wayne Sanderson, because Wayne's now got quite a substantial lead.
So, just perhaps Ryan short-fueled a little bit, a gallon maybe?
Maybe.
Or maybe he just saved, when he was running behind Jamie, he just saved, so he didn't need as much fuel to fill the car up. However, there are still...
Jamie Wilson, he got undercut by Wayne Sanderson, that's why.
Yeah, he's almost 2 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Marco Nurmela is back in the lead with Richard Alsop in second, Tony Klusterman in third. Richard Alsop's about a little over 2 seconds behind Marco Nurmela.
Yeah, not much happened to that gap, to be fair.
But
no, it didn't.
Yeah, Marco's lead.
Yeah,
that stayed very static. If anything, Tony Klusterman gained on Richard Alsop in that pit exchange.
behind him
He
by
w-
about 7 seconds, though.
He
Is
was.
is
He's
that
now.
far?
Yeah, he's pulled back 2 seconds in that pit exchange.
Oh, okay. All right, good. All right.
Oh, Ed's got some hell of a speed on him.
It was really good through there,
Yeah.
wasn't he? That's a good line he's got going into this little complex chicane here as well. You want to sweep into that so that you can turn the wheel as little as possible going down here. And yeah, Ant's.
He's after his friend Nikolai again.
Yeah. Again, I think this is going to go on for a while.
Yeah, Ed's car seems to be riding the curbs really, really well.
Yeah.
Obviously something they've built into the setup.
Whoa, boy, is he close to him.
Whoa.
Look at it. Whoa!
That's
My
that's
That was
goodness.
cheeky.
not quite a dive bomb, but
Wow.
he's not going to benefit though, is he?
No, it was. He caught Nikolai unawares, though. You know, you
Yeah.
just don't expect that to go on there.
No, true.
He's a bit ahead of him, though.
Opportunistic. He is.
This might
Nikolai,
hurt, though.
Nikolai's going to hold this, is he?
This could leave
No,
a mark.
no. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Nice
good
job,
move.
man.
Good
Good
move.
effort. That was really good.
That was amazing.
He's got some grip at the minute, hasn't he?
He certainly has. That puts him up to 6th position.
There. Not bad, though. Still carrying good speed.
Maybe
This
you
is
listened
what-
to your comments before, Clyde.
Yeah.
Here, Clyde, I'm going to show you the good ant. Yeah.
It'd be the first time anyone's ever listened to me. But
Yeah, I just ignore you pretty much. Been ignoring you for 5 years. Now, Marco's lead's come down a little bit.
Slightly, yeah.
yeah, it's only a 10.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Well, we've seen in the past, Richard Alsop is not a slow person by any means.
No, not at all. In this is it racecraft, these guys?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they came mob-handed into the official race last night, didn't they?
Now, for anybody that's listening to this or watching this today, that official race 8:15 on Friday nights. Last night was a barn burner. It was an excellent race, probably the best one that collectively we've seen in a long time.
It was epic.
No, I disagree. the best ever official racing is rookie street stocks at Charlotte, the little mini oval thing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely hilarious.
Are we doing that tomorrow evening instead then? Little puddle jumpers.
But Bill was right. That was a fantastic race last night.
I mean, how many times are you going to hear the legend Nicole Foggy be happy with second place? He was absolutely
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
because he had a great race. You know, it was wonderful.
His tone even sounded like he was buzzing over it, wasn't it? He literally enjoyed it.
Absolutely, like a little kid, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Anne Woodward still getting some pressure applied from Nikolai. Although he is stretching that lead now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep.
That is the battle that never stopped.
Yeah. It's almost like they just follow each other from one track to the next and just carry on.
And then we go-
That's the deal at the start, you know. Let's make sure we stay together, and then we'll get lots of airtime.
Yeah. Apparently, Jamie Jeffrey had an excursion according to the little event screen thing.
Yeah, that could just be a couple of tyres off track, couldn't it?
Is it? Yeah. Is it as sensitive as that? Is it?
Yeah, it can be. Can be.
Ooh, it's never good, that, is it?
He's done well there.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Normally once you're on that grass, you're staying on it.
Yeah, and disappearing off into a wall somewhere. He did well to get back on track.
Especially with a spool rear end, you get in a slick condition like that, side to side, left, right, it's terrible, I tell you.
Yeah. Jamie's closing in on Wayne, right?
Yes.
So this is going to get tasty in a minute.
It seems.
Oh, he's right on him all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, right through the S's, he picked up a lot of time there.
Is that grip coming to him?
It could be. The start of the run, Jamie's quicker than Wayne, and then the end of the run, Wayne is quicker than Jamie.
Huh.
Well, by that logic, Jamie needs to overtake him quickly.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what happened last time, isn't it? Jamie got past him and disappeared,
Yeah.
and then Wayne tracked him down again.
Well, they exchanged places in pits. It was the pit stop that got them to swap places.
But he's proper on him now.
Oh, yeah. He's got his number marked here, and he's got a good drive out of
Look
there.
at that, wow.
Yeah.
Getting really close now.
Who's got the best line through this one?
Jamie right now.
Oh, he's not. He's had to lift, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
Too
did.
sharp
Right.
through there, too sharp. Stay really close in here. Oh, crossed over there. Wheel spin all the way up the hill.
Wayne Sanderson using a lot of road coming up that hill.
Yeah, he did.
Little lift through this one.
And then nail it all the way through here.
Brake early.
Yeah.
Get up
Grabby
on the
curve.
curb.
Yeah. Fight it, apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe he's waiting for the next long straight, which is 2 corners away. Tip this one in, grab a bit of curb if you can. And then careful around here, you want decent drive. Don't touch that inner curb if you can, because you want stable car to get grip.
Yeah, that can make you like a bicycle there.
Yeah, definitely. He's not near enough here.
No, there's definitely nothing going on this time.
No. Good under brakes though, isn't he? Look at that. Wayne greedier on the curbs. Whoa, lots and lots of wheel spin.
Jamie's doing a lot of turning left.
He
go
when he's
right.
spinning right, yeah. Yeah. He needs to have a smooth lap, I think.
I was just on board with Jamie, and he's Jamie Wilson. He's very hard on the throttle coming down through there, sideways like crazy.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of wheel spin. You could hear the engine revving up.
Okay, guys, well, whilst we'll leave this battle on screen, we are going to take a quick break, and
Okay.
we will be back with you in 5.
Hi, my name's David Black from Racetech Seats in New Zealand. We've been designing seats for 20 years now for race cars and have come up with some philosophies that we believe are necessary in a race car to support the driver and to get them home safe. Data collected from around the motorsport world over many years shows that if a driver's well enough supported in a crash, he can survive some big impacts. So the areas of the body that need to be supported are the head, the neck, the shoulder and the torso. If those areas are kept in alignment with each other, then the driver can handle some pretty big G-forces. Racetech has developed a range of seats over those years which incorporates good strong head restraint, square shoulders to support the upper torso. And then on top of that, we fix the seat at the shoulder level to the chassis or the roll cage, hence transferring that load directly to the chassis in an impact. So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Just one of our standard brackets for back mounting to the roll cage. So obviously with this fixed to the roll cage, there's absolutely no way that the top of the seat can move at all. So therefore the driver obviously gets much better feel of what's happening in the race car. And as you saw in the crash footage, the seat that had the shoulder fixing, the brackets are virtually untouched. The brackets that were on the seat when there was no back fixing at the shoulder level are really deformed. That's what happens with the load going down to the side brackets only. So the 3 points of difference that a Racetech back mounted seat has is firstly that it gives the driver a much better chance in an accident because the seat's so much stronger and better supported to the chassis. The second one, and it's a comment we get from a lot of drivers around the world, is that it gives them better feel of the race car, so hence they can drive faster for longer. And the third one is engineers have been telling us that they actually believe they're getting better structural integrity of the car because the seat is such a strong part of the car and three-way fixed. Our two main ranges of seats that follow this philosophy is our 119 and 129 range of seats. The 129 range of seats meets the latest FIA standard and obviously incorporates these same philosophies of back fixing at the shoulder. Here at Racetech, we want drivers to win races and get home safe.
This particular vehicle was set up with a full containment race seat, specifically designed for drag racing and road racing, and this drag car is required to have two seats. This full containment seat has back mounting designed to keep the driver fully contained in a rollover or wreck. The seat belts are polyester. We spend a lot of time in research and development in creating a seat that has specific shoulder supports that wrap around the driver and keep him fully contained. We have projects with Aston Martin, McLaren, Porsche, and we have a warehouse operations here in the States. We also have a dealer network that is listed on our website, and they can buy off our website direct. Hi racers, this is Brian with Racetech USA. We want to share some exciting developments about our new release of the RT 4100 series seats. The seats are designed for road racers, rally cars, and 6 to 8 second drag cars. The seats will work extremely well for track day and drift cars as well. The new design is available in two sizes, standard or big and tall, with or without head restraint. All seats are manufactured from fiberglass composite with large harness slot guides. The seat cover has been enhanced with spacer material for better comfort during summer racing. The back mount beam comes standard just like in our premium seats. It can be bolted to your car's harness bar. They also use the same standard aluminum side mount brackets that are used on our 009 and 119 series of seats. Just recently, the head restraint seats received FIA approval, which allows us now to ship them with the proper decals. You can contact your local dealer to order. Any further questions, please visit our website or contact me at 704-450-4507. Thanks for taking the time for watching this video.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. And we're off, guys. We are going.
Ooh, got a lock up from Mr. Hallman there. He was chasing the car that I was just staring at. Jeremy Rogers, not a name that I know, but I'm sure other people do.
So far, he is awesome. I'm telling you, I can't believe how well he did.
And welcome back. We are here at Road Atlanta for round 5 of the Racetech V8 ESC Endurance Cup. Small grid, but fantastic racing, Pete.
Yeah, we've got Jamie Wilson and Wayne Sanderson now back together, and positions reversed yet again, so that deal's been done. On the back straight here, Jamie stuck it in very fair fashion, and Wayne with a bit of wheel spin couldn't respond. Other than that, we've had some other activity while Clyde's been filling his face full of cake. This is one of them. So that's Richard Allsop turning Andrew Hoffman. Andrew less than impressed, I think, with that. He's only got one line, and then I think he got a bit angry and tasty coming into the pits and decided that this was how he was going to enter it. Bit angry, maybe.
Dead driver.
Yeah.
And
an apology. Sorry, he's left the pits now, has he?
He's left the building.
Yeah, he's left the
Oh,
building.
he's gone. Right. So Richard Allsop did apologise on the chat. But small comfort to Andrew.
Yeah, it's too
it's a
bad.
shame.
Yeah, we've also got the Antwood Wood Nikolai Bogotyrev battle going on.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's been raging as much as this one, and has reached a very high simmer. And this is what happened just a bit ago. Great drive from Nikolai out of that corner, and maintains the position.
To tell Marco Normella today that he's old news, it's boring. We gotta watch some good stuff in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, somewhere after that, though, Antwood Wood did get the position back.
Yeah, that was here, coming into, what is that, 10A? Yeah.
15E. That was a bit more straightforward.
It was. And here they are.
Where are we on time? I believe we're coming up to the hour mark now.
Yeah,
Well,
and about 5 or 6 laps away from pit stops again.
Wow, seemed like it just happened, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah, so Marco Namela, he's little gap's gone out a little bit. Nothing major. It's still under 3 seconds. Um, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait for the timing screen to sort itself out.
Well, Marco Nemela's now posted the fastest time of the lap and taken that away from Richard Olsen. He's done a 1:19.214.
Marco, in traditional fashion, wants to dot the I also across the T.
Yeah, actually, he took it away from Tony Klosterman, who's done a 1:19.23, which is a very impressive time in race trim.
Yeah, so our raging battles at the moment are the usual Wilson-Sanderson. Nikolai Bogotyrev is not giving up on Ant Woodward as well. That one's going to rage for a while.
Yep, here they come down the back straight.
Yeah, Wayne's got a bit of a wriggle on here, hasn't he? He's pulled that gap down a bit. And this probably goes to what you were saying, Clyde, about Wayne being stronger at the back end of a stint.
Yeah, I think he just saves his tyres better. We see when we was on board with Jamie that the back end was wagging all over the place, and obviously that's not very good for your tyres. Whereas Wayne seems to be a lot smoother, and just his tyres or his car control is as good at the end of a stint as it is at the start of the stint.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. Two different approaches, but almost the same result. You know, how close they are together to each other. It's amazing.
It'll be interesting to see if Wayne manages to capitalise on the pit stop strategies again, because it was definitely coming out of the pits where he gained the advantage over Jamie.
Yeah, and I'm just watching keeping an eye on the gap. One of my 11 eyes, because of all the things you need to look at on here. Just trying to keep an eye on the gap, Ryan Walker to Nikolai Bogotyrev. So now that Ryan has he's obviously jumped Jamie Jeffrey in the pits and left him behind, just trying to see now whether he's going to be able to do anything with Nikolai and if they carry on fighting the way they are at the moment.
Yeah, well, Nikolai's pulled him in, and he's right on his back bumper now.
Yeah, and seems to get past, get a 10, 15, 20 car gap, and then Nikolai pulls it back in again.
Yeah.
And then they go at it again for another few laps.
I mean, Ryan Walker's got 17 seconds of dead air in between him and Nikolai. That's quite a gap now, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you say, we're coming up on the second pit stop. Most drivers pitted lap 23, 24. We're on lap 44, so we're expecting somewhere between lap 46 and lap 48 for these drivers this time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe another shake-up in the timings.
Quite possibly.
In fact, Tony has gone early this time.
Is he doing an Nemela? Is that going to be a new verb? Is it?
Well, he should have done it the first time.
Well, I don't think it's a bad strategy. Maybe he can pick up a little time that he's lost, so we'll have to wait and see.
So how far was he behind Richard Alsop?
It was quite a distance. I think it was something like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
Nikolai dropped in the pits. Now Richard Alsop ran it dry last time, so see if he does that again, or whether he
Tony's away.
he reacts to Tony's pit stop.
Tony better make sure that he comes out nowhere near the Nikolai Bogotyrev and Woodward battle.
Can't really tell where he is. He's going through the S's now.
He's got a lot of clean air around him, that's for sure.
Yeah, Ant Woodward's up ahead of him a little bit. A ways, actually, on the
Oh,
straightaway.
here we go. Wayne Wilson and Jamie Sanders.
So not only do they want to race together, they want to pit together. It wouldn't even surprise me if they're sharing a pit box.
Yeah, really.
So
I think we might as well watch this.
Well,
Oh, dear. It looks like Jamie's too far forward,
I was
but he
going to
can't.
say that.
He's
It
popped
looks
in.
like he's too far forwards.
Yeah, he's popped up for tyres. Nothing wrong with that.
Let's see which one drops first.
Tony Klusterman's passing pit lane now, I think. Or passing
Yep,
start finish.
minute. Yep, there he goes. And Ant Woodward's in the pits as well.
Oh, and Jamie's
Jamie.
done in this time.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
That's quite a gap he's got now, actually. Right then, Ryan Walker with Jamie Wilson right on his tail. Following a pit stop. Good with his Model T Ford paint scheme.
Is Ryan going to hold? No, he's not.
No, it's
Seen
just,
on the chat, he's letting him go.
yep.
Yeah, Ryan.
And Ryan. Sorry.
Okay, Marco Numella into the pits.
Right, this is going to be interesting. Figure out where he comes out when everybody cycles.
Yeah, it's Richard Alsop that I'm interested in.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
7
he's-
second. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, he needs to get his wriggle on here.
Now, if you was right and Richard had 10 seconds on Tony, Tony has halved that.
Yep.
As far as I know, yeah, that was the case, and he's cut it well off.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's about 3. I show about 4 seconds difference. Yeah. Huh.
Maybe we call that the Nemela line or the Nemela attack. Oh, and that was Ant Woodward doing a bit of trimming of the grass verge.
Richard Alsop did not pit.
No, he's already been in, I think, Bill.
Yeah, he's-
Oh, really? Here
Yeah.
comes Marco Numella out. Is he going to pass him? Let's see.
No, I think he's just under 3
Richard
seconds.
Alsop's just coming up the hill now behind him. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's about even, I think, that one.
Yeah.
yeah, not much in there.
It's Tony Klusterman that's had the big gain out of that.
He really has as well.
Whoa, Marco Numella kind of wide coming out of the S's just that time.
Nikolai
So
is in front of Ant again.
And Jamie's in front of Wayne still. So the big winners there really are Tony Klusterman and Jamie Wilson's got a 2.5 second lead over Wayne, which is probably the most they've had between them all race.
Yeah, but again, we see that, don't we? We see Jamie pull away and eat his tyres, and then Wayne will slowly reel him back in again.
Yeah.
Marco the Machine Numella still in first place.
Yeah, a little luck up from Jamie Jeffrey there. Although that seems to be what happens each time he passes that chicane.
I've seen Jamie with a few lockups. It's quite easy to do in this car, though.
Oh yeah. If your brake bias isn't quite right, it isn't quite perfect for how you drive, as we see a slow motion replay of Jamie Jeff.
Sam does like his slow mos, doesn't he?
He does, but it does show the way the car bounces around on its
Yeah,
shock.
you see the body movement and roll, don't you? Luckily for those watching, iRacing isn't as advanced that if you lock a wheel up, you flat spot your tyres. You just tend to heat them up and get a couple of crappy laps out of them before things sometimes get better. But a lock-up doesn't mean you're driving on 50 pence pieces.
No, true.
Unfortunately, I'll add.
I was going to say it's a good job, otherwise all my fillings would shake out with the force feedback through my wheel. See that gap? It's okay. He's coming up on the back of Ryan Walker, isn't he?
Yeah.
I thought that when I saw the back of the car, I thought one was Richard Allsop and one was Marco Nemela. Woof.
Oh,
Two wheels and a bit of a slide.
Yeah.
little bicycle ride just then.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
The two wheels part isn't too bad. It's when you land.
Yeah. When that happens, you are just a passenger.
Yeah, there's not a great deal you can do about it. Still some tyre smoke going into the chicane there.
Mm-hmm. And Woodward does appear to be catching Nikolai again. Quite quickly at the minute, actually, as well.
Is that going to turn into Ann Bogatyrev and Nikolai Woodward?
Yeah.
There's certainly not a great deal between these two guys tonight, is there?
Definitely not. Nikolai tries to break the toe
Look at that. Look at him coming.
and shows his nose.
Whoa,
Whoa, that was close.
Oh my goodness.
He's lost time doing that, mind.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But it was exciting, I have to say.
Yeah. For excitement points, he got quite a lot just there, didn't
Yes, he did.
And Tony appears to be dropping off the back of Richard Allsop now. He had that down to 5 seconds after the pit stop, and we've increased up to nearly 10 seconds now.
Yeah, that sounds like Tony's had a mistake somewhere, I believe.
Unless that's just the effect of pitting early, because he did the Nemela jump, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's really got...
Whoa, baby.
Yeah, I thought he was going to throw it down the inside.
Yeah, so did I.
Nikolai shut the door on that one.
Yep. Good racing between these two.
Yeah, so they're both full tanks, both on good tyres, so, you know, this is out-and-out pace from these two.
Oh, hands coming
Oh,
down.
that's-
Charging.
He's
Is he
definitely
going to stop it? Nope, he's not going to stop it.
No.
That's a tough one to do.
a good try,
It was.
but now he's got to catch him all over again.
There'll be some swearing. It's like, ooh. Maybe a little more swearing.
Some swearing in
Ow.
Welsh.
Yeah.
You're not going to catch him on the first turn there, Nikolai Woodward.
Yeah.
Wow, he's got that sucker sideways.
Yeah. He's got his tyres nice and hot now.
Yep.
Meanwhile, out in front, Marco has posted an even faster fastest time of 1 minute 19.086 at some point in the last couple of laps, because that was the last time that I looked at it.
And he's put a little more of a gap on Richard Alsop as well.
Yeah, that's up to 3.7 seconds, we'll call it. And Tony slowly sliding off the back of Richard Alsop now, just over 10 seconds.
Yeah, may need to throw a safety car.
If only that had happened.
And
We could all start talking about this massive crash that's happened, and then throw a safety car, and unfortunately Sam didn't catch it on the cameras.
Yeah.
right now, Ryan Walker's a sandwich between the racecraft cars, Marco Normella and Richard Alsop.
One of the trucks that's parked on the hill with the hexagonal wheels has rolled onto the track. We have a streaker.
Yeah, damn, I miss it. So
No need to go and watch it just yet, but I think Wayne Sanderson is definitely closing on Jamie.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Come on. Stop it. And Ryan Walker was a gentleman and let Richard Alsop through it at an appropriate time. Good lad.
The throttle control is excellent, isn't it, coming out of that last turn? I mean, the amount of launch you get out of there is directly proportional to how heavy your foot is.
And that is one of the hardest aspects to learn with this car, isn't it? Is throttle control.
Yeah, feeding the power in rather than stamping on it.
It's not on and off.
So no real wheel spin going through there. It was feathering the throttle at high revs. Just brilliant control, really. Trail braking through that corner by the sound of his engine.
So in sim time we are 8:05. Track temperature is 72 degrees. There's plenty of cloud cover, some angry looking clouds about.
Are we going to go dark on this race again?
I'm not. No, I don't think so. We might just get the lights on. We got 45 minutes, 46 minutes left. Yeah.
Have a little darkness, huh? Not pitch black, but it's going to get.
No. So I think we might get enough to get some headlights on.
Yeah, we had a race that went dark, didn't we? What was it? Which one was that? That was
I like
funny.
the ones that go dark.
Yeah.
It just changes the whole perspective of everything when you're in the driving seat.
Yeah, it does.
Your brake markers disappear, your turning points disappear. These guys definitely have a night race. Last race of the season in November is Daytona Road at night.
Ah, it's good at night, that one.
Yeah, but Daytona at night's like daytime. They have so much lighting there. Honest to God, in real life at nighttime, it's like daytime there. It's incredible. It is. It's very bright there.
So my prediction about Wayne Wilson and Jamie Sanderson is right. Wayne's now within 0.8 of a second of his best friend.
The battle's gone orange on our timing screen.
Oh yeah.
He's coming, no doubt about it. He's moving in.
Yep, it's a steady grinding away of that time. I think they've got a back marker ahead of them.
Yeah, that's Jamie Jeffrey.
Maybe Jeffrey,
Yeah, as well.
And Woodward's not making any impressions on Nikolai at the moment. In fact, he's losing a bit of ground.
Yeah, that's unusual. Unless he's just bringing his tyres back after a moment or something.
Jamie
Well, he did
Jeffrey
have that
just-
horrible lock-up, didn't he, when he tried to move into the chicane?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, he did, yeah.
I see none of the crowd are social distancing. Well, apart from that bloke there, he was all on his own.
He's just got bad body
Well,
odour.
there's a few of
hasn't
them.
he? Yeah.
There's the guy there with his arms up in the air.
guy along the side of the road just before the bridge. Looks like he could be Bob Marley's long lost cousin or something.
The best one is was it the woman at Imola that was facing in the wrong direction?
Yeah. The back of her head was showing.
it Imola or was Spa, wasn't it? Spa?
Was it Spa?
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
believe so, yeah. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not watching this race. I don't care.
So, like you say, Wayne is getting at that point now, isn't he, where his tyres have a lot more life left in them than Jamie's do.
Yeah, and we've seen with this tyre model that depending on how you set your car up, your tyres come in at different points in your stint. And you can end up with brilliant grip at the beginning of your stint and then just absolute trash to race on at the end. Or it seems to be the opposite for Wayne coming through here. He seems to have now got his grip and seriously carving that time down between himself and Jamie.
Yeah, well played there, Jamie Jeffrey, getting out of the way, let these two guys through and carry on their race.
Agreed, indeed.
So Wayne is now in a Jamie sandwich.
If you'd said that he's the jam in a Jamie sandwich, that would have been even funnier.
All right, yeah, I like it.
So, just about half a second between these two again, which will be significantly less, providing that Wayne can get the drive he needs out of that corner. And he's done that, I think. He'll get some sort of tow going up this road.
And I believe these guys are probably, what, halfway through their stint?
Next pit stop will be at 69, so yep, you're exactly
Really
right.
closing in, really closing in now.
Yeah, he's
Out of 10 feet, very tight.
smell the exhaust fumes off that Mustang.
No kidding.
Better line from Jamie through there, though.
Excellent. Excellent. They're really good through turn one as well. That's excellent.
Yeah, Jamie was mighty through there. And Road Atlanta's one of those places where if you can do a couple of corners really well on a lap, you can gain a massive advantage over somebody else.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
So, Ant Woodward is definitely listening to us. Because
Right.
he's now taken half a second out of Nikolai.
Right, that's good.
I just see the track map, which reminds me about this track being a pork chop.
Yes.
Ant Woodward's listening. He's going, it's not the bad Ant Woodward. It's not the bad Ant Woodward.
Yeah. And
So,
he
yeah.
might have the same setup as Wayne.
Yeah,
it might
could
be that he
be.
gets his tyres, yeah.
It could be that, and you know, Andy's a good driver, but he's not one of those. You know, he's not one that will purposely save his tyres for the second half of a stint. He goes at it from, you know, coming out of the pit lane.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think Nikolai's kind of like that too, isn't he? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think when Nikolai first started racing with us, I wouldn't go as far as saying it was a liability, but he did do some very rash things. And then he seemed to get a handle on the car. You know, got the control that's required. Moved quite considerably up the grid. And I think he's hit. I mean this in the nicest possible way, Nikolai. When you're watching this back, it's like you've hit a bit of a wall. There's something, you need something extra now to take that next step.
For sure. And it's a plateau situation, don't you think? I mean, I've reached step one, how to, climb in the car. Now I gotta go past that plateau, how to drive it. So
yeah, and it could be, it could be as simple as real life getting in the way. This car requires seat time. The more time you put into it, the more you get out of it. And sometimes your home life, your work life, something in your life gets in the way, stops you practicing, and you can go backwards.
Yeah. Well, that hasn't affected you any, Clyde.
No, but I've always been a arrive and drive.
Yeah. A lot of practice doesn't seem to help you a lot, really.
No, my memory issues don't help me with practice.
Yeah.
Unless I practice on the day or the day before, anything else that I learned before that is forgotten.
Yeah. Okay. We got about 35, 36 minutes left or so, roughly. And,
yeah, maybe a little bit over that. Yeah, Marco Namella 4 seconds in front. Richard Alsop's got nearly 9 seconds over Tony. Tony's got 14.5 seconds over Jamie Wilson, and that's our closest battle is Jamie and Wayne. Shock horror. And did claw Nikolai back to about a second, but he's losing again.
I think he's losing in different bits of the track. He is pulling it together towards the end of the lap.
So Jamie Jeffrey has just pitted. Just pitted twice by the looks of it.
All right.
Don't know how true that is, but
he's getting a lot of wheel spin. I think he's got either heavy feet there or lack of patience, one of the two.
Marco's on automatic pilot. He's just cruising around out there. Ah, amazing. He really does hit his marks most of the time, though, if you watch him. It's really amazing.
He is very accurate. His times don't really deviate that much.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Here we are with Ryan Walker.
Considering Ryan kind of comes and goes with the V8 here, he drives that car pretty well, actually.
He does, yeah, and like Clyde was saying, the ones that end up at the front of the field are the ones that do multiple practice and stay in the car for a long time and do the official races, do the league races, in multiple leagues probably, do SCOPs maybe, I don't know. Oh, a bit of a lock up from Ryan in the background there. Yeah, and so to just part-time jump in this car and drive it, he's doing a brilliant job, isn't he?
I think so, yep.
Yeah, like I say, he's not a mug. He's a good driver in any car that he goes in. But as you're saying there, as I said before, to get to that next level, you need to put the next level of practice in. So the lights are on the cars.
I just noticed that. They just came on. Yeah. Now we move into night racing. Well, not quite. We've got a little over a half hour left. We might have some darkness.
If anything, it seems a bit brighter.
It does, doesn't it? Kind of orangey color like or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Track's still 72 degrees. Fahrenheit, that is. So I'm looking at a couple of battles on the timing screen. Obviously the Wilson-Sanderson battle. And I think the Bogotyrev-Woodward battle is going to be on again soon.
Yeah, I think Wayne's now in the slipstream of Jamie.
You're right, Pete. He seems to be closing in a little bit right now.
Yeah. As Marco sets off on lap 65. He's probably about 4 laps away from his next pit stop. It'll be interesting to see whether Tony pits early again, because Tony's actually pulled some time back on Richard Allsop. And it was interesting what Johnny Brandon had to say about the tyres last night. So you get like 3 or 4 laps of nothing, then you get a series of laps of lots of grip, and then it tails away again until you end up plateauing, and you just keep turning the same lap time over and over again until the end of your stint.
Yeah, I do believe that depends on your talent set as well.
Right.
My lowly talent set, I tend to have no grip for a couple of laps, loads of grips for quite a few laps, and then no grip at the end. But I'm obviously not putting as much wear into the tyres as the fast guys are.
No, true.
In fact, normally my tyres come up with icicles on them.
Yeah.
So here's the Ant and Nikolai battle. I'll say Nikolai was a 1.5 seconds steady for a few laps ahead of Ant.
Just as you're talking, I think Tony's pitted.
Tony's pitted at 66. That is
Yes,
probably
he is. He's in the pits.
that is the earliest you can possibly pit.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the pits.
We're estimating the races. Well, Tony's going to hope now that we don't get a 90th lap.
Right.
Sure.
Yes.
It's gonna be very close between 89 and 90 laps, is what I've been told.
Tony's away.
And you can do 23 laps on a tank unless you save, and then you can get 24. So Tony is on the brink, shall we say?
And we should expect everybody else in the next 3 laps time, because that's what happened the last time out.
Yeah, I think for anybody that pits from lap 67, which we're on now, so the end of pit lap, anyone that pits now is definitely safe. They can make it home. Whoa, slide into the pit lane there, Jamie.
Yep, definitely.
But they are going to be filling them to the gunnels.
Wayne appears to be tyre warming.
Yeah, Wayne's tyre warming.
On tyres he's going to take off. Oh, these two.
Overdust twins are in the pits.
So it just depends if I don't think either of these two guys have been able to save any fuel.
Anybody joining this broadcast now will be going, why are they just watching 2 people sat in pit lane? Is there no racing going on? Little do they know that this is the fascination of several races. With,
They're both clearly.
Look at that. That's going to end badly or brilliantly.
Just
Wayne
hope
just barely
nobody got a flag there.
Oh my goodness, the four crazy people are almost together there. Look at that. Wow.
That's hilarious.
I just, like I say, I just hope neither of those guys got a speeding penalty then.
Yeah, I know. So, what happened there? Did Wayne take ever so slightly less fuel? Is that the only difference?
He might have. I was wondering if they could get away with a little bit less fuel this time.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think they needed to fill it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it depends on the previous stint. If you manage to save half a gallon, that could be a second shorter pit stop.
Yeah,
You're filling the tank from an already higher level.
All right, what do you think is going to happen down on 10A and B here this time? Got four kamikazes coming down in there.
Yeah.
No, very, very orderly. Okay.
I'm expecting these two to dive into the pits.
Yeah, but if Wayne tries to overtake Ant on the inside,
Yep. Oh,
there they go. Jamie, again, better on the cold tyres.
Just for information, Marco and Richard both pitted on the same lap last time round, and Tony hasn't gained on them really. He's probably gained about half a second. Jamie's looking very fighty here. Didn't get very good drive out of that last corner.
Yeah, Jamie knows he needs to get it done fairly quickly.
Yes.
Because he knows Wayne will be stronger at the end of the stint. So here's a pit lane battle between Ant and Nikolai.
Honestly, people watching our broadcast must be going, they've not got any more cameras than just the pit lane.
And when
Ant's away.
Ant's jumped him.
Yep, definitely. That can only be taking less fuel, right?
Yeah, but it depends on the definition of taking less fuel, as in, I don't think it's not filling the tank up. I think it's having more fuel when you went into the pit, so you're putting less fuel in to fill it up.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Replay of Ryan Walker. Just a big lock-up or a spin? Oh, I was half right on both counts.
It was just a slip slide.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah, I think Jamie needs to engage warp drive right now, doesn't he? Given that Wayne's better at the end of the stint.
Yeah, that would be my worry in Jamie's shoes. We've seen it, all the way through the race. That, Jamie's time comes at the start of the stint, Wayne at the end. So he really needs to get past him and then hopefully try and pull a gap. If he can't pull a gap, he just needs to make his car very, very wide.
Yeah, interestingly, Wayne Sanderson on the last lap's done his fastest lap of the race at a 1:19.6. It was just over half a second faster than Jamie.
So maybe the tables have turned then. Maybe Wayne is the one that's going to try and get the gap and hold it.
Yeah.
Which could play into Jamie's hands.
And Marco...
guy there.
Marco, just for kicks, has done the fastest lap of his own fastest lap at 1:19.012.
Very close to an 18.
Which is a qualifying speed, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here we go. He's got a bit of tow from the back of Nikolai's car. Nikolai does a rather exaggerated version of getting out of the way.
It's a very unflattering picture of Marco Namela.
How do you mean?
I don't know. He looks like Ricky Gervais to me from here.
Oh, he's overcooked that one though. Marco Namela isn't perfect after all.
But he probably meant to do it.
Oh, he still hasn't pitted yet. Wow.
No, he pitted with Richard just a bit earlier.
He's been in the third time?
Yeah, he's done his third pit stop.
Oh my goodness, must be asleep or something over here. Sorry.
Well, you are 5 hours behind, Bill.
Yeah.
That's true. Sitting here like a damn fool waiting for him to pit here. Yeah.
The race hasn't even started for you. So, Ant Woodward is 3.5 seconds up the road from Nikolai now.
Yeah, he's really taken off. Yeah.
Definitely engaged warp drive there. Jamie Wilson's just done his fastest lap of the race, 1:19.5. He's got to do a few of them before he can catch up with Wayne, though.
Yeah, still only just over a second.
Yep. Tony seems to be back holding station at 10.5 seconds behind Richard. And Richard Allsop is his usual 3 seconds behind Marco.
They're in their racecraft formation, apparently.
And because of the traffic that Marco's encountered, you never want to be the leader encountering traffic, do you? Because it kind of surprises them and you end up losing more time than the guy in second place.
I can't say I've ever experienced that, but I believe you. Well, I don't want to be announcer's jinx, but I'll tell you, Marco hasn't lost his edge yet, that's for sure.
No, definitely not.
Very, very consistent, isn't he?
He is,
Yes,
yeah.
he is.
And Richard Allsop at the minute is turning laps faster than him, which means both these racecraft guys have got a lot of skill in the bag.
Yeah, Richard's got the gap down to just under 3 seconds. Sort that bloody window out. I'm sure he fixed that and now it's come back again. Unless I dreamt it.
It's funny. It does appear like Jamie's falling off the back of Wayne at the moment. They've just done a. Right, Wayne's done a lap 3/10 faster than Jamie, so he is slowly dropping him.
It's Ryan Walker, isn't it, behind Jamie Wilson there?
Yeah, they lapped him a couple of about half a lap ago. Got good lines going through the corners though. Probably just what I suffer from, not braking late enough and not getting on the gas early enough.
Now, my concern for Wayne would be if he spent the whole race conserving tyres and not going hell for leather.
Mm-hmm.
And on this stint, it looks like he's going hell for leather to try and get this gap on Jamie. He's not going to know how bad the tyres can be at the end of the stint.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, be new territory for him.
Could be a surprise.
Yeah. Could be a total switch round. You know,
Possibly.
Jamie might come good at the end of the stint. You know, we've got 20 minutes of racing left at the moment. I love that section of the track. Love it and hate it all at the same time.
It's a fantastic series of turns, it really is. And all started on the top of the hill there where you've got that little chicane. And if you can fire it down out of that chicane, it all feels brilliant as you go down the hill. Richard Alsop's taken another about 0.4 of a second out of Marco.
Just over 2.5 seconds now. Jamie is 1.5 behind Wayne, and stretched his lead over Nikolai to 2.5 seconds.
I'm amazed that these guys can turn these lap times on tyres that are worn or in the environment that they're in. For so many times.
Yeah, you Pete, you can probably answer this question the best. How frustrating is it for Richard Alsop to get beaten by his teammate every race?
I am not going to answer that. Oh dear.
That was low.
Yeah, let's see how we do tomorrow, shall we?
that was low.
It was.
Are you likely to be in the window liquor split again?
I've gained about 200 I rating in about a week, funnily enough. So I'm about where you are now.
That's excellent. Good for you.
So I think we'll be in middle split.
So yeah, that gap at the front, Marco's just eked it out again, so it's back over 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's the only one in the 119s at the minute. Everybody else is, well, only just over in Richard Alsop's case and in Tony's case. Just over 1 minute 20s. Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying. You look at the pit stop time, and Tony's had to spend longer in the pits than everybody else by 2 full seconds because he's had to fill more fuel into his car.
Yeah.
So the logic that you explained before is absolutely right.
Well, I think Tony has admitted that he, for some reason, uses a lot more fuel than the other people.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's just driving style, isn't it? Johnny Brandon is another one that always says, you know, he uses more fuel than Nicole, and he doesn't really know why.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's just fatter.
Could be.
His simulated avatar is fatter. So I think we're coming up on a quarter of an hour to go. And the field's kind of strung itself out a little bit.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, although, you know, it's always interesting for me on these enduros when you come to that final pit stop and you're umming and ahhing whether to, you know, do I really need a full tank? Can I get away with a gallon less? And sometimes the gamble goes wrong.
Well, yeah. We don't know that everybody's fueled the cars properly yet, do we? Especially the ones that were at the extreme end of the window, like Tony. Yeah,
that's obviously information that we haven't got readily available. We can say how long somebody's been stopped for, but yeah, we don't know what they had in the tank when they went in. iRacing, hint, hint.
Yeah.
The driver has that information at his fingertips, how much fuel he's got in the car.
Are you wanting some ship-to-shore information, are you?
Because it would make it too easy for us, I believe. We would know exactly what's going on all the time, and never getting anything wrong. And I think part of the fun of commentating is getting things wrong.
Which we do regularly.
Yes, we are at another level for getting things wrong.
It's a little nice to have a little mystery going on too, or try to second think what's going on. I think that's important.
Nikolai getting a bit wide on the last turn there.
Yeah, we got Chris Jackson commenting in the chat about Tony and fuel, and yeah, I do agree with you, Chris. If it's an 89 lap race, I think Tony is fine. If it's a 90 lap race, then there could be some trouble.
Well, we'll find that out in well, what's that? 11 laps.
And unfortunately for Tony, he's got no control over how many laps this race is. That's all down to Marco.
Correct.
Yeah, and Marco's pace is very, very quick. Even now, he's still turning laps under 120. All right, they're only just under 1 minute 20. And in fact, Rich is going faster than Marco is currently.
And Rich is actually using the no drifting line. I notice he's very careful to be sure that he's not sliding his tires.
Well, it's a lot to give up when you're in first, second, or third, isn't it?
Yeah. And Wayne Sanderson's doing the same thing too. Very carefully, not sliding his tires.
I think that is Wayne's natural driving style, though, isn't it? He is very, very
Probably, yeah.
I've had some good battles against Wayne.
So on board with Richard Allsop. Coming into this, it's nearly a double right-hander. You've only got a very short straight there before you're back on the brakes.
The bone of the chop.
The bone of the chop, yeah. And then power all the way up this hill. Hopefully you've got a car in front of you to get some draft from, but he hasn't on this occasion. He's under 3 seconds behind that car in the distance, which is your race leader, Marco Namela. And then lots of brake, very soft though, and then take as much as you can of that corner. Less so on this one. And then gas over the hill again.
That second curb on the chicane, it always feels to me like it's down a dip.
It is.
Out of it.
Yeah, you don't want to go near that one.
Greedy there.
Yeah, the greedy doesn't help you on the second one. You want to stay on the tarmac because that's where the grip is best, and you get the launch up that little hill. And that little it's pure evil if you're too heavy on the gas, because your wheels just spin up straight away.
Yeah, and then obviously you throw it in blindly and just hope it's going to grip.
Yeah, a bit like the corner that he's just gone through there.
Yeah.
You've got to be a bit hopeful. This one is very forgiving. You can take a lot of curb there, whereas this one's not. If you hit that inside curb, it'll bounce you out, and you're off gardening and trimming the daisies. And that gap between Richard and Marco seems to ebb just within a few tenths up and down.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
There's no real inroads for Richard there. Tony's slowly drifting off. The back of Richard again is up to 14 seconds, that gap. In fourth, Wayne Sanderson again falling away from Tony Kloosterman, but he's pulling away from Jamie Wilson at a reasonably rapid pace at the moment. That gap being 4 seconds back to Jamie Wilson in fifth. Ant Woodward is in sixth currently, and there's a rather monumental gap to Jamie Wilson at that point. 53 seconds. And Nikolai is closing in on Ant Woodward again.
Yeah, as you was talking there, I was watching the timing screen, and Nikolai is just, I don't know, it looks Ant's put an anchor out the back of his car or something.
This happened at the end of the last stint, funnily enough, as well.
Yeah, but wasn't it the other way round? Wasn't it Ant chasing Nikolai?
Do you know, I can't remember.
They've gone back and forth so much, it's hard to remember.
Yeah, definitely.
But this looks like it's going to be our closest battle through to the end.
I think this is on, and I think Nikolai's going to catch him pretty quick now. He's not yet probably got any toe. He's going to get him under brakes more than anything at this point. He needs a good set of grip coming out of here.
And again, is this down to tyres? Ant got the jump on the pit stop and roared off into the distance, using all his stuff up, and Nikolai went, yeah, all right, fair enough, I'll see you in a little while.
And it goes back to what you were saying about Nikolai's change in race style. So he was send it
Yeah.
on a lot of corners. See what I can get out of this. Oh, look, I've crashed. And then now he's nothing like that. Now he's contemplative, thinking about his next options, not pushing the car too hard, staying within his own remit.
Yeah, he's a very, I would say, measured driver now.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
And this seems to be the bit of the lap, those last two corners and the next two corners where Nikolai has got an advantage over Ant Woodward.
Yeah, you see the gap creep up to just over a second, and then it starts coming back down again. I don't think we're going to get darkness, but the light is definitely fading because
I don't know, it's going quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have got the brightness up on my monitor quite high, so it's like a summer's day to me. And it's probably pitch black for those guys in the cars.
Coming down to it, was it about 7 or 8 minutes to go, roughly? I don't know, I can't tell, but...
Yeah, we've got just under 7 minutes.
Okay. And we've gone 83 laps. I should say...
We're on lap 84.
84, okay.
Obviously not completed yet, so... Chris Jackson is estimating 88 or 89 laps. If that's the case, then I don't think Tony's got any worries on fuel,
Yeah, he should be alright.
provided he filled it up.
If it goes to 90, then Chris needs to give us all 10 Canadian dollars.
Cake.
Or cake. Cake, please. Look at the way that Nikolai pulled in that gap there.
That was very close.
Yeah, I don't know whether he'll maintain it going over the crest of the hill here. Or into turn, what are we calling that? 34 double D or something.
Sounded like more like an article of women clothing, but alright, 34 is fine.
Not sure if our number one fan, Logan Jackson, is watching us tonight. If he is, hello, Logan.
So, in Chris Jackson's world, we've got between, 4 and 5 laps remaining. 6 makes it controversial.
I think 6 could make it a nightmare for some.
Yes, very much so. And Marco Nemela's still putting out laps of 1 minute 20-ish.
Yeah, Richard has
fast.
clawed him in a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
2.5 seconds now.
It looks like Nikolai's still putting the pressure on Lightning McQueen there, but don't worry, Logan, Lightning McQueen will stay ahead of him, no problem.
But again, you don't know what's happening in Marco's car. You know, if he's tight on fuel, he might slow down a little bit to make sure we don't get an extra lap.
Well, don't think he is, because he's just on a 119.9.
He has, yeah. His previous one was a 120, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he's very much got the fuel to get him to the end.
I think Nikolai needs to use the flashy light tactics.
No, nobody needs to use the flashy lights. I hate the flashy lights.
Yeah. No, it should be outlawed.
Full beam, blind him.
He's definitely reeling him in a little.
Yeah, I think he was right earlier. Similar to the other battle, he's better in some sections of the track, and then Ant's better in others.
Yeah, there's a bit of ebb and flow.
Nikolai seems to be very, very good at the end of the lap.
Yeah, I mean, he was right on his bumper the last lap going through the chicane, and now he's got, what's that? That's about 10 car lengths. And then he's cut it in half just here.
Yeah, this is where Nikolai comes back.
Wayne Sanderson's put a lot of territory between himself and Jamie Wilson.
He really has, yeah.
Wow.
It's like 7 seconds now.
You know it.
And Richard Allsop's giving it some welly at the minute. There's
He
one.
certainly is. It's Marco. Ooh.
That's Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie
it was
Jeffrey.
Jamie. I thought it was Marco had disappeared then.
No.
It was Jamie's cloaking device again.
Yeah.
Yep, doing a little bit of stealth.
Pulled it way over to the right-hand side, sorry.
Good lad, Jamie.
Yeah.
I don't actually know Jamie Jeffrey fits in the car because he is about 8'12".
He's a tall man. One of the few people I have to look up to. I tell you, wow. he is tall.
Slower from Richard that time round. But he did
Yeah.
overtake Matt Marcus, so fair
Yeah,
enough.
Marco's eked that gap out a bit more.
Replay of Ryan Walker. Oh, that snapped really nastily on him, didn't it?
Yeah, that did, yeah.
Half a spin.
And a 12-point turn.
And a neutral gearbox. There we go. Right, and we're off.
What a shame.
Yeah, I've done that loads. It's just really frustrating.
Sure.
Really?
Well, oh, here we go. We're on.
Oh.
We're on.
It's on, yep. Look at this.
Hadn't made a mistake coming out of that last turn.
It's a tough place to pass.
Yeah. He'd have been better waiting for that one, maybe. If he gets good drive out of here, he's going to get a load to tow down here, surely.
Yeah. Sometimes you can make your move too soon, can't you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's easy to get, like, romanticize the pass that you're about to make and then never make it because you've done it too soon. Good defensive driving from Ant. Lots of lock up there from Nikolai. Bad drive out of the corner from Nikolai as well. Bit of wheel spin.
So that is 2 hours.
Right.
I'm going to assume this is the last lap.
In that case, Nikolai's going to get very racy very, very quickly, I think.
Where's Marco? He's just come out of the S's. He's out of turn 5. Two more corners, Marco. You're on autopilot. Go for it.
Yeah, Richard's not that far back down the track though. 2.5
really
seconds.
He really isn't.
He's cut that down very, very smartly. I think Ant Woodward's tyres are probably about minced by now. I'm sure we're going to stick with Marco until the end of the race, which is very imminent.
Yep, he He's
Rich
out of
has
turn.
cut it down to 1.5 seconds.
Marco is very loose. I think his tires are gone. They
Yeah,
shouldn't
I think
be.
so.
Okay, here he comes across the finish line. Nice job. Marco Demella first, Richard Alsop second.
Well done, guys.
Tony Klusterman will cross the line in third.
Yeah,
But
very
these two
lowly
are busy.
third.
Yeah.
This is the battle. It looks like Ant has done it. He has.
Wow, well done.
So, finish in order of Marco Namella first, Richard Alsop second, Tony Klusterman third, Wayne Sanderson in fourth, Jamie Wilson fifth, and Woodward in sixth, Nikolai Bogotyrev in seventh, Ryan Walker eighth, Jamie Jeffrey ninth, Andrew Hoffman didn't finish, but is classified 10th, and Ben Cullen 11th. Well, how many times have we said, we haven't got many cars on the track tonight? Bloody hell, that was a good race.
It certainly was. We've had paired driving, paired racing all the way through the field. All right, for the last maybe 20 minutes, everybody was fairly spread out until Nikolai got his wriggle on and got in Ant Woodward's rearview mirror very close. But for the rest of the race, brilliant racing, very, very fair, and very, very competitive.
Yes. So, sorry, Bill, go on.
No, that's okay. Totally agree with you, Pete. It was, it's amazing how you start with 11 cars and you have, like you said, they pair up and they go back and forth for 2 hours, swapping positions, never more than a second apart. I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's the racecraft guys up the front there. There wasn't anything Tony had that he could get anywhere near them, but Tony ended up in a sort of class of his own in that final podium position. And then, the next four cars, well, we just see them battle for the whole race more or less. So, Wayne and Jamie Wilson there, as usual, having their own private championship. Ant and Nikolai were very, very close on pace. So they were at it all the time. Ryan Walker started from the back and sort of plucked his way through what was there at the back. Jamie Jeffrey had a solid race. Andrew Hoffman was all right till he got tagged by Richard Alsop, and then the red mist came down, and we had the pit lane incident. But yeah, all in all, another great race before we go into our mid-season break. These guys will be back in this series in July. Where we carry on again. But yeah, I thought that was a very, very good race.
Absolutely. And we've got Marco, Wayne and Tony in our interview booth.
Okay, Pete, who would you like first? The winner?
Yeah, it's only fair, isn't it? Good evening, Marco. Welcome again. Winner of another race. It feels like only yesterday that we spoke last.
Yeah, feels like
it. How was that for you? 2 hours of Road Atlanta. Is this a track you like? And how do you feel your race went?
I don't know. I guess I used that foggy tactic on endurance, just drive away.
Yeah. What about your early pit stop? Didn't feature tonight. Your early pit stop and gain 5 seconds on the rest of the field. Is this a different track? Does it not work there, or do you treat endurance races in a different way?
No, actually, I wanted to stay late on the first stint because the fuel saving is so much easier on hotter track. So I wanted to do that 124 lap stint, and then but I think I still did 23. So yeah, I had so much room to play, and yeah.
Well, it's been a fantastic performance by you, and a real lesson for everybody that wants to know how to drive smoothly from you. Is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to in this Racecraft 1-2 that you've managed to harvest together with Richard?
Yeah, congrats to Richard on P2. Yeah, I think we both had more pace, but we had like no reason to push. Every time Richard caught up to me, and I just pulled away again more. But yeah, thanks to Richard and RKE and you guys.
Thank you very much, Marco Namela.
Okay, let's get Tony Kloosterman in the booth. Tony Kloosterman, welcome to the booth.
How you doing, Clyde?
Not too bad. You had a lonely race, is that fair to say?
It was like going on a drive to my mother-in-law's.
But the end result was better.
I have an awesome mother-in-law, actually. So,
Damn, I was recording that as well.
Yeah.
That was going to be used as evidence. So there were those two Racecraft boys. You didn't seem to have a lot for them, but then you had too much for the rest of the field.
yeah, it seemed to be that way. I let Richard by, I think, 2 or 3 laps in. I already had 3 incident points by that point, and I thought, oh, that's not going to work for the rest of this race. I got two hours to go. So I let him by, and I thought maybe I would be able to do something with the pit stops, but they went longer in the first stint than I thought that they would. I was hoping to maybe lead a lap through that, but that didn't work out. Had a little bit of pace coming out of the pits, but the gap at the end of the day was pretty consistent, I guess. But they were quick.
Yeah, they certainly were. And that the last pit stop, Tony, you was the first car to pit. How tight was you on fuel at the end? Could you have done another lap?
No, I couldn't have done another lap, but I was pretty confident in my calculations that we weren't going to go 90, and I was actually surprised we went 89.
Excellent. Okay, Tony, well, before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank?
Our teammates, Summability, Never Quit Racing. You guys for putting on the broadcast, which is great as always. It's a shame there aren't many more guys coming out for the endurance events. It does make it a little lonely out there, and we could use some company.
Yeah, can't disagree with you. Yeah, well, thanks for joining us, Tony. We'll let you go and get the next one in.
Take care, guys.
Okay, Wayne Sanderson, Pete.
Yeah, go on then. Good evening, Wayne. Welcome to the interview booth. How are you doing?
I'm well, Pete. Thank you.
Are you nice and tired after 2 hours of Road Atlanta?
Absolutely. Throw my hand and everything.
So the Wayne Wilson, Jamie Sanderson battle continues into yet another. Are you getting bored of seeing the back of a black and white car? Green and white car, I should say.
Well, I got a big spot on my windshield actually in the first stint, so that sort of covered it up. I'm getting a bit tired of it, to be honest.
So you two quite literally spot places for 2 hours constantly, including in the pit lane, where you ended up getting a massive advantage in one of the pit stops. Did you go in with like extra fuel in the tank and therefore had to fill less?
I don't know what I did, to be honest with you. I just thought I'd try the undercut on the end of the first stint, and then I think I got quite lucky last pit stop really. Just got out by a fraction of a second really in front of him. I guess it all.
Yeah, and he was closing you down at the end of the race, but you seemed quite comfortable in maintaining the gap that you had. Which was quite big, really, in the grand scheme of things by the time you crossed the line. So really well done on 4th place. Is there anyone you'd like to have a shout out to at this point?
Well, yeah, Jamie, of course, because he's been getting the better of me for weeks, so it was nice to get one over on him finally. But to you guys and the broadcast Backfire, Simsport, the series sponsors, and also XVR guys as well. They gave me some points on Thursday on the practice server as well. So thanks to those.
That's good. It's a great community. Thank you very much, Wayne. Great
Cheers, guys.
watching you race.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay, so what we'll do now, last but not least, will be Mr. Ant Woodward. So in the booth now, we have 6th place Ant Woodward. Ant, that was a hell of a race between you and Nikolai.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had no pace today, but it didn't matter because Nikolai was with me.
You sound absolutely knackered, mate.
Yeah, I am. That was. I had at 52 laps, I reached a grand total of 14 instant points. So for the last however many we did, I was cacking it everywhere.
Yeah, that would have been a shame if that had happened, because that was such a good battle. It was one of them that there was one half, like the first half of the lap, you seemed to be quicker than Nikolai, and then Nikolai was quicker than you on the second half of the lap. Did it feel like that in the car? Did you in the first half of the lap, was you thinking, oh, finally I'm getting away from him, only to find him catching you up again?
Yeah, there was some kind of difference there between how we used the tyres or the setups or something, but I'd come out and be strong, and then he'd be all over me by the end of the stint. But that's happened across a few races with Nikolai. We do seem to be on a similar pace, so it's just, that was awesome as well. Just respectful, good battling, really good.
Yeah, we did see a couple of side-by-side moments, not just with you two, but other drivers as well. But people seem to be giving room and things like that. So, on the whole, you must be happy with 6th.
Yeah, I had a bad night last at Watkins Glen. Being a bit hard on myself, I guess 6 is okay. There wasn't many in it. That was a disappointment, but yeah, it's all right. I'm lacking pace at the moment, so.
Yeah, well, watch the broadcast back. We think we've solved all your problems. Before we let you go, Ant, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Simmobility for sponsoring us, NQR, the team, yourselves. I'm loving the Friday night stuff. 30 drivers last night. Brilliant. Girlfriend Stacey and my daughter Evie May.
Excellent. Okay, Ant, well, go and get yourself a well-earned rest, and we'll get the broadcast wrapped up.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it now. Thank you very much.
Okay, good night, mate. My flushing powers are terrible.
Have you not flushed him properly?
I did eventually.
All right, excellent. That's good.
I had to do a double flush.
I've had a few of them over the years.
So, guys, let's sum this race up. Pete, what's your overriding memory of this race?
The paired racing. We didn't have the greatest size of grid. Only 11 cars, but they paired off all the way through the field. Great racing between them, very fair and very sportsmanlike racing, it has to be said, although Andrew Hoffman probably won't agree with my statement there. I felt it could have been a lot more boring than it was, and what we got was exciting racing.
And Bill, from you, what do we take from this race? Are we looking at a future champion in Marco Namella? Can Richard Alsop close the gap? Has Tony Kloosterman got to find something to get up there with them?
Wish I had that crystal ball. I don't know, but I can tell you that Marco Namella right now is on a roll. He's got the momentum, and he's certainly doing one hell of a job. But those things have a tendency to change, and I'm not trying to wish him any bad luck, but I have to tell you, that team he's with, Racecraft, those guys really seem to have the magic magic potion right now. They're doing a really great job. But the race altogether, other than them, was terrific. I like Pete, I was a little leery of 10 or 11 cars for 2 hours, but I'll tell you, the two groups, you know, the Wayne and Jamie show and the Ant and the Nikolai show were terrific. And of course, even, you know, Ryan Walker did a great job for not driving this car very often. It just was really, it turned out very well. A lot better than I expected.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with either of you, just to, you know, keep it friendly. To me, I thoroughly enjoyed the race. I enjoyed the battles. Love watching the cars go around that track. Yeah, I thought it was really good. So we are back next Friday from Pete's favourite track at Backfire for the European Strength of Field race. That's really about all there is to say from tonight. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody's keeping safe. Continue to keep safe, and make sure you tune in next time to Backfire Simsport TV. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.